Alrighty, friends. Today we're going to be reviewing how to write a paragraph. I know you have talked about this in all grades before, but it is a very important skill. Someday when you're older and looking for a job, being able to write a paragraph that is free of mistakes and that is well articulated is a very important skill to have. So we're going to work very hard on our writing this year. So let's begin by thinking about, why do we need paragraphs? Why do we need to know how to write a good paragraph? Think for a minute about that. Why do we need to know how to write a paragraph? You might have said a couple of things. You might have thought about that they help you organize your ideas. There's one main idea and topic per paragraph. I know when I'm reading something, I really appreciate that things are organized into paragraphs. You use the whole paragraph to discuss, analyze, and explain your one idea or topic. So they organize things. They make your writing friendlier to the reader. When there is too much information that is all over the place, we get overwhelmed and it is hard to understand. Breaking your writing up into paragraphs makes it easier on the reader. We always want our writing to be easier to understand. So grouping ideas together that go together is very helpful for the writer and the reader. So how do you write a paragraph? Well, there are three main parts you have to have. You have to have a topic sentence, also known as a main idea sentence, that makes the main point of your paragraph. Once you have your topic, which is one or two words about what the paragraph is going to be about, then you need to come up with a main idea sentence about that topic. You need to analyze, support, explain, or develop the main point with supporting details. You want to back up your main idea. You want to explain the significance of the point you're trying to make. And then a conclusion sentence that lets the reader know you're done and reminds them what the point was you were trying to make. Pretty much restates the introduction paragraph. Now picture a fresh, hot off the grill, juicy hamburger. What does it look like? What toppings did you get in it? So we had a bun, we got some lettuce, some pickle, onion, tomato. What if I took a paragraph is just like a hamburger? Have you heard that before? Well, it is. At least the organization of it is. There are three main parts to a paragraph, and there are three main parts to a hamburger. The first bun on top is like the topic or main idea sentence. The details, at least three of them, are like the things on the inside: the meat, the lettuce, cheese, and tomatoes. And the closing sentence is the bottom bun. We need all those parts for a good paragraph and a good hamburger. Let's talk first about that top bun, that topic sentence. I like to call it a main idea sentence that states the main idea of your paragraph. Usually comes at the beginning of the paragraph and lets your reader know what you're writing about. So important. As a reader, you only have so much time in your life and you got to decide, do I want to read this or not? Well, it depends. I'll read the first sentence to see if I want to know about what it's going to tell me about. If you are answering a question, it is a good idea to include the restated question. That's a great skill for elementary school, middle school, high school, and college, to be able to look at a question, restate it in your main idea sentence. Generally, it's a broad sentence. There are not too many details in the sentence, just giving the big picture, the main idea in that first topic sentence. Think about your hamburger bun. The top of the burger is like an introduction to the rest of the burger. It is your first taste of the burger. It's kind of giving you a feel for what the paragraph is going to be about. It is the introduction to the rest of your paragraph. It will be your reader's first taste of the rest of your paragraph. And if they don't like the bun, they may not read the rest of it. Next comes the supporting details. These are your examples that back up your main idea. It's evidence. It's an explanation. They are usually the second, third, and fourth sentences. Make sure that your details relate back to that main idea sentence. If your topic was dragons are very important creatures in fairy tales, right? Then I would expect all the details to be about why dragons are important in fairy tales. You're not going to talk about evidence of whether or not dragons are real. You're not going to talk about how princesses are important to fairy tales. You're talking about dragons because that was your topic, and you need to stay to your topic. Okay? And they should support what you're talking about. Then we need our, well, and if we think about those details, they're the really good stuff, right? No hamburger and no paragraph is complete without the center. So you have to have those details and they need to be in complete sentences. The closing, or also known as the conclusion sentence. It briefly brings the information in the paragraph to a close. It lets the reader now know, oh, you're done now. It also kind of restates that first main idea sentence and sort of reminds the reader what your main point was. We found it's usually found at the end of the paragraph and it is the last sentence. So think about your hamburger. The closing sentence is found at the bottom, just like the bottom bun. If you don't have it, all the good stuff will fall out. People will be like, what? Where? What? Is this paragraph is over? Huh? I don't have a bottom bun? Gotta have a conclusion sentence. No hamburger and no paragraph is complete without a closing conclusion sentence. So let's review. Topic sentence, that's the main idea sentence, 3 supporting details, and a closing sentence. So at a minimum, which means you must have 5 sentences. 1 for a topic sentence, 3 details, and a conclusion. 5 sentences, because that's a 4th grade expectation. Many of you can already write more. Let's read this paragraph and see if we can identify these 3 parts. We need more computers in our classroom because using technology in the classroom will help prepare students for their future careers. Our world is becoming more and more technology dependent. Future jobs and careers will likely involve heavy use of wireless internet and proficient word processing skills. Exposing kids at a young age to these things will allow them to master the skills they will need later on. Please consider adding more computers to our class so we can practice for the future. Sounds like they're trying to convince us of something. So this is an opinion paragraph stating someone's opinion. What do you think the main idea sentence was? What details support that main idea sentence? What was the conclusion sentence? You probably said the main idea sentence was we need more computers in our classroom because using technology in the classroom will help prepare students for their future careers. Then we went on and they have details proving or explaining why we need those computers. They're going to need to use them in their jobs. It'll help them master skills later on. Life's going to depend on it. And then it reminded the reader that the purpose of this paragraph was to convince people that adding more computers to classrooms is important for the future. There's our closing sentence. How about this one? Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. If that's the main idea sentence, I'm going to expect that all the details that come after are going to prove why breakfast is important. Overnight, your body has been fasting, so when you wake up, you are running on empty. Oh, that proves breakfast is important. Breakfast provides you with the energy you need for the rest of the day. Well, that's pretty important. In addition to energy, it gives you essential nutrients your bodies require. Well, that's pretty important. So even if you're running late, be sure to eat breakfast. And it reminds you, eating breakfast is important. There's those important parts of a paragraph, our hamburger. Okay, we are going to now write a paragraph about why one of these topics. Okay, so why is recycling important? Explain why summer is your favorite season. Persuade your teacher that recess should be longer. Describe why every student should get their own laptop. And explain how to make the perfect pizza. I'm going to pretend that I'm a student. I'm going to try and persuade you guys, the teachers, that recess should be longer. So this is where I need to go here to my writing page. This is where I need to have my main idea sentence. And I want to convince people that recess is important and should be longer. So recess is a vital, which means important, part of a child's day because it provides exercise. Recess is a vital part of a child's, that's kind of getting into the details. Recess is a vital part of a child's day. Sometimes I gotta correct myself. And should be extended in schools across America. So I'm going to go ahead now and come up with my 3 supporting details. I'm going to use bullet points now before I put it all together in a paragraph. So I'm going to say recess is important because it provides students time to socialize, which means be with their friends, and exercise. My font's a little big, so I'm going to make it a little smaller. Socialize and exercise. And then I'm going to say many grade levels in elementary school only get 1 recess a day. Okay. It is important to students' academic learning that they get movement breaks. They get the movement breaks that recess provides. This will help them in their schoolwork. That was kind of 2 sentences there. So I've got 4 supporting details. I went above and beyond. So we've got our main idea sentence. Recess is a vital part of a child's day and should be extended in schools across America. I've got 4 supporting details. Recess is important because it provides students time to socialize and exercise. Many grade levels in elementary school only get 1 recess a day. It is important to students' academic learning that they get the movement breaks that recess provides. This will help them in their schoolwork. Okay, and then we can go ahead and restate our main idea sentence for our conclusion sentence. Restate means say something that's kind of the same, but not exactly the same. So we talked about recess is important and should be extended. So I'm going to say students in American classrooms should get more recess at school. Okay, if I wrote that all out in 1 paragraph and indented, you indent by pressing the tab, and I will show right here, I'm going to insert a new slide. I will show you how to indent, because that's pretty important because you guys are online and you need to know how to indent. So I press the tab key. Notice how it moved forward a little bit? I'm going to show you why that is important. So I'm going to take this first sentence, and if I want to copy it, I right click. It may not let me, so I can also push Control C. I'm going to come back to my indented box. Oh boy, I might just have to type it out. That's fine. I don't mind typing it out. Recess is a vital part of a child's day and should be extended in schools across America. Did you notice how we had that indent? Because I pressed the tab, and as I continued typing, it didn't indent the second line, so it's just like a book. So now you learned you can use the tab key when typing a paragraph to let your reader know you're starting a new paragraph. I'm excited to read your paragraphs this week.